Similarly, these are for the sequencing of chemotherapy, neoadjuvant therapy, adjuvant therapy. Of course, radiation is a part and the sandwich part of the protocol, and evidence for sandwiching SBRT as part of a neoadjuvant protocol is, of course, a strong level of recommendation. For a patient with pancreatic cancer receiving SBRT, a respiratory motion management technique is recommended. Answer to that is yes, very strongly, it is recommended. 4D technique is recommended, it is recommended strongly. So this is again, as we talked about, daily image guidance with fiducial marker and volumetric imaging recommended. Definitely it is recommended. So I think we have discussed this. It's a long paper and I think all of us should read it. So far we have talked about borderline and locally advanced pancreatic cancer. What about SBRT as adjuvant therapy? There is a trial where 24 resected patient with close or positive margin, although your ASTRO guideline has clearly recommended that it should not be used outside a trial, but 24 resected patient, close or positive margin, freedom from local progression at 1 year was 66%, 1 year overall survival was 80%. So encouraging results. Similarly, re-radiation, there is some data coming in, re-radiation with SBRT for isolated local recurrences, or re-radiation for salvage or boost treatment. For both, we have some data and both of them are modestly encouraging data. So what have we learned so far? Before going to future directions, we have learned why pancreatic SBRT. Reason is simple. Conventionally fractionated radiation therapy was not doing much to pancreas, 1. 2, local progression is very high in pancreas and local progression causes havoc. Deaths, around 40% deaths are due to local progression because of biliary obstruction or issues related to obstruction. Our next issue was what is borderline, what is locally advanced, which we have addressed. Borderline was based on the artery and venous occlusion or abutment criteria less than 180, more than 180 degrees. So we have to first ascertain, and even as radiation oncologists, we should know so that we can guide our medical oncologists and surgeons, and we should not leave it to the surgeons. The third thing, we talked about data, which is sparse, the randomized control trial. The one randomized control trial has come in as negative result. The Stanford study, we are waiting for results. Hopefully more robust data for borderline, for SBRT in pancreas will come for borderline resectable pancreatic cancer. Next, we talked about contouring, and the things to remember from contouring is you have to have multiple phases where structures near your bowel, your dose should fade out, whereas tumor vessel interface, if you want the surgeons to perform a R0 resection and a non-resectable to be converted or a borderline resectable to be converted, because vessel is where the interplay is, your dose to the tumor vessel interface should be high. The normal structure contouring should be robust. In terms of image guidance, we have learned that fiducial-based image guidance is the best. Volumetric data should be with us, that is volumetric IGRT-based image guidance, and wherever possible, 4D CT should be used or respiratory motion management systems should be used. Now, talking about the future directions, prospective study of pancreatic SBRT are on randomized trials, on sequencing, on dose escalation, and with newer agents. There should be adaptive planning, that is over the fractions. We should be able to adapt our plan based on the interplay of duodenum and all the other hollow and bowel structure. Proton and carbon ion therapy are showing some promise, and that is great because pancreas is one place which is within an interplay of various critical structures, and there I think proton and carbon ion therapy will make a mark, provided they can get the motion management and precision right, because proton has a back peak effect, but definitely the future is exciting. And exploration of biomarkers and imaging technology in order to adopt a personalized management paradigm. So with that, I come to my concluding slide. The take home for SBRT pancreas is SBRT pancreas has opened up a new ray of hope in the treatment of paradigm of borderline resectable pancreatic cancer. Speak to your surgeons, speak to your medical oncologists. Still in India, 7 to 80% do not know about this technique, do not know how to incorporate this in the technique, or they are reasonably scared or apprehensive about it. Keep speaking to them. Shorter duration, higher BD, and strategic sequencing with systemic therapy are key to its potential success. Precise contouring, image guidance, and motion management are the key, which we have talked about. But what we have so far not talked about, and I must emphasize because that is beyond the scope, but quality assurance from counseling the patient to taking your imaging to contouring to beam planning and to beam delivery, because the interplay it is such a fine interplay, the duodenal wall and the pancreatic head. Strict quality assurance and multidisciplinary spatial cooperation are crucial and key to success. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Patra, for an excellent deliberation. And Dr. Patro, I'll request you to start the question answer session.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Kaustubh, it is a very nice lecture and elaboration of contouring and all overview of the SBRT pancreas. We have a very few questions in the chat box. We will discuss one by one.
Kanu, I can't. Dr. Kanu, I cannot hear you. Hello. Hello.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah, it's better now. Better, yeah.
So we have some questions in the chat box. We'll discuss one by one. Is it audible?
Yeah.
Okay. So how you prefer DIBH or DEBH?
Sorry? Kanu, you're not. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Kanu. Yeah, Dr. Kanu.
Am I audible?
You are, but it's your voice is jarring.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, please ask.
So deep inspiratory breath hold and deep expiratory breath hold. So what do you prefer actually during the SBRT pancreas?
So we were doing deep inspiratory breath hold before, and if you are using this protocol, if you are using abdominal compression protocol, deep expiratory breath hold becomes sometimes difficult. But last 2-3 patients we have done with deep expiratory breath hold. So in the first patient, although I keep talking, I used to keep talking to Dr. Reena and the Tata group, and they have been doing deep expiratory breath hold and they really like doing it. So the first patient I tried, it was all bizarre. But after that, after 2-3 deep expiratory breath holds, things have fallen in place, and I think deep expiratory breath hold is also a great protocol.
But I think deep inspiratory breath hold, the patient is more.
DIBH is better or DEBH is better?
Sorry?
Those constraints, OAR achievements, OAR plannings, it is mostly DIBH, comparing to the DIBH and DEBH, which is the better for the...
So that's what I said. The first DBH we tried, the first one, we have done 3 with DEBH so far. The first DEBH we tried, it was all haywire, pathetic. But the second and third DEBH was much better.
So how you combine abdominal compression and DEBH, or only abdominal compression?
No. So in DEBH, we are not using abdominal compression. It will become very cumbersome for the patient, and the purpose is lost, isn't it? On one side, you are compressing, on the other side, you are asking the patient to. It is a contradictory thing you are doing. So if you are doing DEBH, do not use compression.
Here, Dr. Vinita is asking, any vascular complications reported during or after surgery when
Sorry?
is used?
Any vascular
complications reported during or after surgery when?
So No, so that was not because of SBRT, but in one patient we had, the portal vein was completely stuck, and the surgeon was digging below it, and he just nicked it, and huge bleeding. Then they stopped and they reconstructed. They managed to reconstruct the portal vein, just did a bypass and came out. But I will not attribute it to a SBRT complication. That is, the surgical team nicked the portal vein.
So another question there, are you using stenting as a marker, as a fiducial, or you are putting the all fiducial markers in the?
No, Kanu, initially we tried putting one or two patients fiducial markers for pancreas, but honestly it is turning out to be cumbersome. And with IGRT system, 4D CT, good contrast, we are, and bony landmarks, we are right now, last 10, 12 patients we have managed without markers.
So stenting, what is your opinion? Stenting.
Sorry?
When there is a bilirubin is high, you do use stenting before the SBRT planning?
Yeah, if your bilirubin is more than 2, don't do SBRT. You will end up having all complications. Just refuse the patient. No SBRT for bilirubin more than 2.
Yeah, we would ask for a stent to be placed.
Yeah, so place a stent, bring the bilirubin down, and then take over for SBRT. But usually by that, Kanu,
yeah. Some few literature.
See, SBRT will not be the first treatment. You will anyway have chemo before that. So most of the patient come obstructed upfront, stent is placed, bilirubin comes down, chemo is instituted, and then SBRT comes into play.
How is the stent matching in the CVCT? When you are taking the CVCT stent matching, how is it happening? If you have some cases you have encountered.
So there is a study about markers versus fiducials versus stent. Fiducials are better than stent.
Okay. So in your institution you are following either
Sorry.
the Alliance protocol or your own protocol or only direct SBRT?
Sorry?
Alliance protocol or in your institution?
No. So this is the TMH practicum protocol. What I showed is TMH practicum and the Varian School protocol, which is a diversion from the Alliance protocol.
Dr. Milling has asked, for planning of re-irradiation, what will be the minimum duration of what would be the dose?
Sorry?
For planning re-irradiation, what would be the minimum duration and what would be the dose?
So I have no personal experience with re-radiation for SBRT, but what I believe for re-radiation for SBRT, minimum 6 months should be given, ideally 1 year. But pancreas patients don't, if a pancreas patient has survived for more than 1 year, that itself is, so 6 months is what is taken into account, and dose is anywhere between 30 to 35 gray.
Apart from the before surgery, you are doing the pre of surgery, after you are doing any.
Sorry?
Has asked, is there any role of SBRT in the palliative setting, or when there is a duodenal stomach bowel interface is triggered, and if you are planning, what is your dose and destination?
I didn't get you, Kanu.
Palliative setting, any dose freshness schedule you are planning?
Palliative setting.
Yeah.
For pain control, actually.
See, using a SBRT for pain control is still not there is no phase 2 or phase 3 study talking about doing SBRT in pain control. So in borderline and locally advanced itself, the evidence is sparse. So just using SBRT for pain control, I think there's not enough robust evidence for that. Just for pain control.
So Dr. Vinita is asking one more question.
You treat a daily or alternate day?
Alternate day.
Alternate day, okay.
Alternate day, maximum 3 fractions a week. Maximum 3 fractions a week.
Okay. Dr. Ashwath is asking, is it more difficult to convince MDT colleagues now for SBRT pancreas after results of Alliance or treatment? Any points to reboot?
Sorry?
So it is more difficult to convince the multidisciplinary board that SBRT pancreas is better, but what are the results after the Alliance protocol and pre of pre-pancreas protocol. Any points to reboot?
See, I mean, I think it has to come from the surgeons. Surgeons have started liking SBRT. Some of the surgeons say that after SBRT, it becomes easy for them to operate. The pancreas becomes hard. So in our hospital also, the initial surgical team was very, very apprehensive, and they would not incorporate radiation in the protocol, but continuous talking, one or two good results, and now they are very comfortable with it. And now in almost all the patients, borderline resectable, we have a good pancreas surgery team and they are incorporating it. So I think it is just talking, prolonged talking, showing evidence. That's how it is.
So in Alliance protocol, normally the dose fractionation which is used is range from 25 to 40 gray. So most of
That is less dose. The dose was not good, and that was the criticism for that alliance.
Yeah, for Alliance trial, yeah.
Yeah. So TVI has to receive high dose.
Yeah.
And resectability depends on the TVI dose interface. Alliance did not do that actually.
And Dr. Vinita is asking one question: if the patient is planned for not pre-op SBRT, radical SBRT, so still you prefer to give this TVI tumor volume interface dose, high dose, or you just give the entire pancreas or gross tumor volume?
Radical
dose?
SBRT I have never used. I mean, only for this thing.
Not pre-op SBRT as a SBRT. As a
definitive treatment. No, for definitive treatment, I'm still using standard protocol with dose escalation, not SBRT. So because evidence is very, very, very weak for radical.
So how much dose escalation are you using for the radical setting?
So I have two volumes there. For the radical setting, we have a PTV1 and we have a PTV2. So this one receives your 56 to 57.5 gray, the PTV2, that's the smaller volume, and the other one receives your 50.4 gray.
So it is fractionated, 25 fractions, right?
Yeah. So TMH protocol is 25, 50, and 25, 57.5.
Yeah. So recently MSKCC has also published their data in JAMA 2021 of 75 gray volume. They have just treated GTV with a minimal margin.
Yeah. So smaller. So you can keep coning down and you can just keep increasing volumes there. So I think 25, 57.5 in 25. That would be your BED would be what? 2.5 in 25.
25, yes.
So that BED, your EQD2 would be in the range of around 66. 64 to 66, and BED would be somewhere around 85 to 88, I think. Yeah,
but if you
still it's not 100. Yeah, nowhere near 100.
Dr. Kaustav, I have a question for you. What is the experience or the evidence for immunotherapy post SBRT in carcinoma pancreas?
Emerging evidence. There are 1 or 2 trials have been instituted now. With SBRT and immunotherapy, there is a trial. I read a trial which I'll send you across.
Right, but are you
all phase 2 studies?
All phase
2 data.
Dr. Kaustav, any experience of prescribing high dose to the tumor volume interface?
Sorry?
Vessel interface?
Sorry, Dr. Kanu, sorry, once again.
Your experience for giving high dose escalation to tumor volume interface?
Tumor vessel interface.
42 gray. Maximum I have used to TBI is 42, the same protocol which I have shown.
Any pre-op medication?
42 gray in 7 fractions. You also use 42 gray in 7 fractions. For
42 in 6, ma'am. The maximum I have gone up to is 42 in 6. That is 7 gray per fraction.
We need to, at the periphery, we need to use, and we want a uniform.
To the TBI. Yeah.
Then we would keep it at 7 fractions and do it alternate day treatment.
Any medication you prescribe before SBRT and after SBRT? Any supportive medication? Supportive medication before and after?
Prokinetic should be there. If needed, antacid should be instituted. And yeah, that's all. Prokinetics and antacids and other pain medication. I'm not using steroids and all those things. No.
We prefer to give our patients, starting a day before an antiemetic, aprepitant.
Yeah.
We give it for 3 days so that prevents the nausea.
Also, domperidone, ma'am, a prokinetic antiemetic kind of this thing.
So you treat with the empty stomach or full stomach? Empty stomach or full stomach?
Sorry?
Empty stomach or full stomach?
Are you treating patient on empty stomach or full stomach?
Yeah, so that is a very relevant question. Since you are doing the planning in an empty stomach, and pancreas SPRT is something where the GI interface is a very key structure, ask your patient not to eat too much and do it at least 3 to 4 hours any meal. So if he has had a breakfast at around, he or she has had a breakfast at 9, try to do it around 12, 12:30, 1. If the lunch has been taken at around 1, try to do it around 4, 4:35. So that it is similar to the schedule you have used for your planning image acquisition.
So you use oral contrast or negative contrast as water? Oral contrast or water?
Water, make the patient lie down on a lateral position, and triphasic IV contrast taken for arterial phase around 25 to 30 seconds. I do not take a portal venous phase 1 and a parenchymal phase separately. I take it as one around 50 seconds, and the third I take as a late venous phase around 110 seconds. Taking 4 phases is too much. I mean, I think 3 phases are good enough. In fact, some of the studies say you just take 2 phases.
2 phases.
Any more questions they can ask?
Dr. Kaustubh, do you also take MRI into consideration
while planning?
Yeah. MRI, there are various studies which have shown and said that MRI improves pancreatic target delineation. Only issue with MRI is you will not have a organ-to-organ match, and there will be some distortion. But still, MRI is a good tool to see what is the invasion, how far is on the head it is invaded. So it is always a good idea to take an MRI before the SBRT.
What is your response evaluation criteria? How you follow the response evaluation doing the MRI, CT in the after how many months of SBRT?
No, response evaluation, most of them will be going for surgery, Kanu. Most of the patients will be going for surgery. SBRT I'm using only as the neoadjuvant protocol. I'm not yet using as a radical protocol. So most of them, they're post-surgical follow-up protocols. So more than any, you have to pick up recurrences and you will have to just keep following them up with standard protocol, the standard imaging protocols and CA 19-9.
So you, before surgery, whether you go for the re-imaging before surgery?
Yeah. A repeat MRI will be done before surgery. Any surgeon would do that.
So if radiologically it is not feasible for surgery,
sorry,
what is your radiologically it is not feasible for surgery?
Radiologically it is?
If radiologically not feasible for surgery, then what is your plan? How do you plan?
We have never, in pancreas, unlike rectum, Dr. Kanu, in pancreas, we have never had a situation that within few weeks it becomes pancreas becomes, the mass disappears radiologically. It will shrink, it will become much smaller, but some enhancement will be there in pancreas. Unlike rectum, you may have a wonderful response and you may not see anything. So in pancreas, usually you will see in a borderline resectable, definitely you will see. If it was such a small mass, then it would have been a resectable. So usually we do not see a situation where it has completely radiologically disappeared. But definitely good response, become much smaller. So the last patient which we treated had started with a 3.9 centimeter mass, and just before the surgery, she was 2.2.
What is the gap between radiation, SBRT and surgery? Gap.
Sorry?
How much gap you are giving between surgery and radiation?
How much?
What is the gap between SBRT and surgery?
The duration between SBRT and surgery, 4 to 6 weeks.
Dr. Ashwat
4 to
is
6 weeks.
Dr. Ashwat is asking, is ability to deliver 40 grade to tumor vessel interface a selection criteria for SBRT? Meaning, if you are unable to safely deliver 40 grade to GTV or tumor vessel interface, do you proceed with SBRT?
See, safely means you will, most of the time, TBI, you will deliver 40 grade. The safety of it, you are picking up patients to deliver only 40 grade to TBI. Unless it is infiltrating onto your duodenum and all, then you are not taking over those patients. So if you have decided to take over those patients for SBRT, then you should go ahead and deliver. If you are not able to deliver, go to the minor deviation criteria. You can accept that. If the major deviation criteria are happening, better not to do SBRT.
So your case selection is important.
Case selection is very important.
You will not offer the patient SBRT.
Yes.
Case selection is very important.
Any patient you have taken for SBRT, you are not able to, you have taken for SBRT, not able to get the constraints properly, your major deviations, you are shifted
Better not to do SBRT.
Yeah, not to do SBRT. But see, Kanu, those patients you will know on the scan. So just don't go for SBRT. Minor deviations definitely allowed.
Dr. Costa, in your practice, if there is just an abutment of the duodenum but not a frank invasion, would you still go for SBRT in your practice?
See, abutment is fine, Dr. Bisht, but you have to be very careful while contouring the duodenal pancreatic head interface. That's the tumor duodenal head interface. If there is no invasion of any layer of duodenum, you can go for SBRT, but then you should have a rapid dose follow-up. So if your peripheral prescription dose should be 60%.
Thank you, Dr. Costa, for a nice lecture and nice discussion. Thank you, Dr. Patru. So in the end, Dr. Shyam will give the vote of thanks for today. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, Dr. Deepak. Thank you, Dr. Shyam. Thank you, the whole madam.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, Dr. Deepak, Dr. Shyam, for inviting and having a good discussion about the SBRT, and please continue the education.
At the end, it was a very nice lecture, Dr. Costa, and a very good moderation by Dr. Kanu. So I would like to thank on my behalf and on the behalf of Deepak and whole department, we would like to thank Dr. Kataria for providing the opportunity, all our colleagues, our juniors and seniors, and last but not the least, our audience. It was a wonderful audience. I think it was 150 plus at some point of time. So thank you everybody for being here. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
Right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.